We live in an ecosystem that rewards constant visibility. For most of us, uploading a steady stream of updates, photos, and milestones is the default way to show we're active participants in the world. Then there are the outliers. These are the individuals who maintain blank profile pictures, post zero selfies, and enforce a total blackout on their personal lives. The immediate public assumption is that they're hiding. Society tends to label these quiet observers as shy, socially invisible, or perhaps lacking the confidence to put themselves on display. But the psychological data suggests a different reality entirely. Choosing to stay offline doesn't necessarily signal insecurity. Instead, it often points to a psychological framework that relies on internal cues rather than external attention. To understand this, look at the standard digital feedback loop. For many, likes and comments serve as a social currency, helping them gauge their own value through the eyes of others. People who share less online tend to possess a clearer sense of self-concept. They have a firm grasp on their identity and values, which often means they don't look for outside input to confirm who they are. This brings us to a specific cognitive trait called an internal locus of evaluation. This diagram illustrates the two models. In an external locus, stability fluctuates based on incoming data from other people, but with an internal locus, individuals judge their success and worth by their own personal standards. When an individual's standards are self-generated, the need for digital applause diminishes. External opinions are simply deflected by a stable psychological boundary. They don't feel the need to post a photo to prove they were there, or that they're happy. Their silence is a demonstration of self-sourced validation. This self-sufficiency also acts as a shield. The platforms we scroll through every day are highly curated, artificial landscapes, essentially a collection of everyone else's best moments. The risk of spending time in that environment is rooted in social comparison theory. Looking at this model, we see the trap. Every time the central node is exposed to an artificially inflated life, its own perceived value drops in response. It's a continuous cycle of measuring yourself against a mirage. Non-posters recognize the distortion for what it is. By severing that link to the comparison loop, they allow their self-esteem to stabilize on its own terms. They prioritize a high privacy orientation. By setting strict boundaries, they maintain control over their mental space, rather than letting the public consume their private experiences. There is a clear distinction between performative confidence and the quiet emotional security that allows an individual to feel complete without an audience. In this context, a sparse digital footprint is a practical method for maintaining peace. It's a way to protect mental focus from the background noise of digital anxiety. The people who post nothing aren't necessarily the socially awkward outliers we might assume them to be. Their behavior often reflects a high degree of self-awareness and introspection, qualities that allow them to navigate the digital world without getting lost in the search for approval. They offer a different model for confidence. Security doesn't have to perform or shout to be real. An individual does not need to be seen by the internet to feel seen by themselves. The next time you find a completely quiet profile with zero updates, you aren't looking at a lack of confidence. You're likely seeing someone who is simply satisfied without the spotlight.